related to health, safety, and building codes, including signage, notwithstanding the foregoing, no local zoning, land use laws, agricultural regulations, subdivision regulations, or similar provisions shall prohibit the development or operation of medical marijuana establishments. So that's the concern for WAM, that's the concern for our members and who we represent. You know, because I have testified in front of this committee before about 3 readings of an ordinance and how important it is to have the public process be truly public and have it be local. So I will tell you that that's where we stand. The association also talked about taking a stand on pro-marijuana, pro-medical marijuana, no marijuana, where we wanted to fall on that. And frankly, the board decided to let each individual community decide that that's really where they should be making those kinds of very, very important decisions for their communities. One of the other things I just want to leave you with is as it relates to the council and the governor's work, and then what you're doing here, as a person who has participated now in many of these kinds of conversations on different, both on the executive level and then now on the legislative level. I want to be sure that we're working in concert, that the 260-some page report that just came out from the Governor's Council is digested by you all. There's some homework for you and for us as well, that we're all saying and knowing and hearing and talking about the same things consistently and collectively, that we don't have someone over here talking about one thing and then someone over here also hears something else, and we're spending a lot of time spinning our wheels. I think that could be some wasted time for us, so that we're all singing off the same sheet of music. And with that, one of our recommendations to the council is that it continues its work in some form, either to come up with legislation or to come up with what the language would be specific for local control. And with that, I stand for questions.
Questions? As far as the group, WAM Association, they have a strong, recognize local control, but support, interest, concerns about marijuana legalization, either medically or retail?
Chairman Christensen, the short answer is no. They did debate, just like you are right now. They have all kinds of opinions. Most of them are anecdotal, or I heard, or someone said, or I read, or did you read? But nothing that I would call worthy of testimony here in front of you all for public record. I would just say that that's how they want to manage it locally. And Senator Christensen, Chairman Christensen, if I may really quickly, I'm very, very close with my colleague, the State League Director in Colorado, also in our outlying areas. And I had a long conversation with him and his Deputy Director. His Deputy Director is actually from Wyoming, Kevin Balmer. And his Deputy Director in Colorado is a person who's managing this, who has managed it from before it was legal to now where it is today for municipalities. And when I spoke with Mr. Balmer, I just said, what's the short answer? What's the cliff notes you can give me in Wyoming? And he said, I will tell you this. It's coming, be prepared, and make sure that you have a local option. And they do in Colorado, it's an opt-in or an opt-out option. So that was his advice to me.
Trying to put that option in.
On the telephone, any questions for Ms. Simonton? Okay. Public comment. Any other public comment?
I happen to be on KPA Kelly Fishing Drive. I've been there since the beginning.
You can give your name for the record.
I'm Amber Sparks. I'm public relations. That's why I'm here to begin with, was to tell you about the KPA Kelly petition. And yes, we're coming in with the numbers. It's not going to matter. Your report that was just read to you sounds to me like it's corrupt and biased, because I know that Dr. Kasser asked us for research. We gave him research. Apparently, that kind of research wasn't even looked at or wanted. And from what I just heard, if there's things that were excluded in revenue, doesn't that bias the information? They're not checking all the research that's out there. So I think that becomes a major problem. So where does the level of honesty begin here in Wyoming? This is the equality state, if I'm not correct.
That's right.
That's the way I grew up. My grandparents taught me to be honest. Doesn't that mean that our elected officials have to be held to a certain diplomacy with honesty?
Anybody have?
My grandfather kicked my butt if I come up here and give you all your information.
I hope you're not referring to this group.
No, sir, I'm just saying that report doesn't have everything in it, and that means that that information is corrupted. I've done research marketing for huge firms for craft and all kinds of places. I'm very educated. And I'll tell you what, if that report has not got all the revenue, what else isn't in it?
Senator Hicks.
Mr. Chairman, quick question. Have you read the report in its entirety? Because this was just a summation of the executive summary. It didn't go into detail. So are you absolutely positive that the information that you provided is in the appendix at some place?
But where is all the information?
So you don't know?
No,
Okay.
we haven't had a chance to take a look at it. Apparently, we get excluded from a lot of things just because we're on the initiative ballot and on the other end, but doesn't mean that we're not involved in this. And we went down to speak to the committee, and the sir approached me himself and asked me for research. We gave him solid research, just like we're offering up here, and I don't see where any of it's being used. I really don't. I think your numbers are off as far as revenue in Wyoming. I think a lot of people are afraid to come forward and say again, one, we are still traditionally